see it. I visualize it. I see it.
Thank you. That's terrific. And we are really committed. So I sometimes forget to share this, but we do a program like this similar in the South Bay in the Bonita area. So if you live in our area, I love how all the teams now are opened up to cross-training. So even if you're not on our team, we would love to have you join us. It is a client presentation program that we open to anybody who wants to learn about health and wellness. And then after that, we do a little coach training. So you're welcome to join us. I'll put these flyers right here. If you don't live up here, come to ours. Okay, well, thank you. Sure, but you want a mic? Because in this long marriage with adult children and now grandchildren, you can see I don't need a mic.
Greg, you have to speak up. We didn't.
And the good doctor does. So, oh, you don't have a mic. Okay, okay.
Yeah, I'm used to speaking in a very small exam room with one-on-one. So. I will think talking to the person in the back and try to speak up. So our story starts 4 years ago. I've been in medical practice for 30 years now, and have struggled with the right tool to help my patients lose weight. And 4 years ago, Gary Gurian, our health coach, introduced Take Shape for Life for us. Denise volunteered to be the guinea pig. You can tell that's part of the story.
That's okay. It's all good. Okay. Keep going.
Did very well in the program. We introduced it to our patients. In the first year, our patients lost over 6,000 pounds. And so to say we were sold and our patients were sold would be an understatement. We also, after Denise went to the national conference, realized that we could only help so many people in the practice. And by getting outside the practice, starting to work with coaches and expanding our reach was the way we could really get closer to this goal that Dr. Anderson has of getting America healthy.
And we actually grew very much just the way Karen and Una, thank you for their talk. Everybody today that has been up here has just been so great, and even though we've been doing this for 4 years, we get excited to hear all the other people as well. But we grew just very much exactly like what Karen said, and it was actually we grew to a large state outside of the medical practice. So for those of you that are not physicians in the room, friends and family, friends go a long way, and they really want to know what you're doing. So just sharing, like Karen and Una talked about, is exactly how we grew. So we're going to go over. Oops, go ahead. Sorry. Well, I just want to preface this little. We're going to go over the system that we use, which is obviously the Take Shape for Life system. But I also want to preface this. Sometimes when you hear people that are in front of you, and I do the same thing, even as a global director, and we know we have a really wonderful business. Sometimes I see somebody presenting something and go, "Oh, I'm not doing it that way. I should have done this. I should have, would have, could have, should have," and we kind of beat ourselves up. And the beautiful thing about this business is when you talk with everybody in the room, they all come from very different backgrounds. So we're going to show you in a perfect world how we love to do our clients and how we love to coach. But if you are not doing something, it's a new day. Try it. Implement the systems that we have to offer. Utilize what's before you. But please don't beat yourself up and go, "I wasn't doing that," because I actually do that with myself. I'll hear another global director or presidential director, and I'll be like, "Shucky darn, I'm just a terrible health coach." And then my husband will go, "Honey, you helped like 800 or 900 people get healthy. Really? You're a terrible health coach?" And I'll just, "Oh, we're not doing enough." So please don't go there. Just take it for what it is and know that you know we all have goals. God bless you.
But one of the reasons we're excited to talk today is that client support really is the key thing in terms of building Take Shape for Life business and helping us reach our goal. And the neat thing is that Take Shape for Life has put together a great toolbox of tools for us, which if you think about it, Take Shape for Life has been around for 12 years. We've helped now over 1 million people get healthy, and so there's a collective experience of 1 million coaches and 1 million client-coach relationships that has been distilled down eventually. That has been distilled down to these tools, and so use the tools. The 5-in-1 Quick Start Guide, 90% of what your client needs to get through programs in there. The Habits of Health system for the rest of their life, the whole Vital Network, the BMI chart. You need to know where you are and where you need to go to track and navigate. And the file filter system, which is not only important in terms of keeping yourself organized, but also guides you to support your client and give them the information that they need when they need it, so you don't like overwhelm them all at once or forget something halfway through the process. So it's not just for organization, but also to keep yourself on track. And the last thing I want to mention is don't forget this little thing. Inside this is the business blueprint. And a lot of what we're going to talk about today is in sections 9 and 10 in the business blueprint. And particularly, we talk about sending letters to and emails to clients. The templates for those are in business blueprint. So, support.
Okay, so we use the pre-client folder, and if you go back to the last slide for just 1 second, I'm just going to give you really 2 quick examples of why we really use the system. Greg's triple board certified in critical care. I have a background in nutrition. You don't need any of that to be a good health coach. I'll tell you two examples. We use the system. We use the we can call into nutrition support. All of you over health coaches can call into nutrition support, as you know. And so there's just 2 huge things that even as a triple board certified physician and as background nutrition, I have a teaching credential, but I've managed medical practices off and on for 30 years. Now, how that happened is confusing, but anyway, and now I'm global marketing. But like for instance, I didn't know that if I have a client that has less than 15 pounds to lose, they cannot do the 5 and 1. How many in the room knew that? If you have a client that has over 80 pounds to lose, they cannot do the 5 and 1. The only way I knew that was because I called nutrition support. All clients that have less than 15 pounds to lose need to do 4 and 2, and anybody over 80 pounds needs to do 4 and 2 as well. So as health coaches, we don't know everything, and that's why we use the system.
I don't know that that's accurate since I lost 9 pounds and I do the 5
You can choose personally to do it, but the company will not support that.
No, liability is what
Right.
you're talking about.
Well, and if you call nutrition support, if you are a patient, because what happens when you have less than 15 pounds to lose, you don't have a lot of fat to burn, so you get ketotic. So we're going into a little bit technical. But the company will tell you.
Going into medical.
Yes, well,
Is that what
yes,
you're saying?
according to the company. So they recommend that anybody who has less than 15 pounds to lose not go into fat burn.
I just talked to nutrition support this last week, and they said anybody can do 5 and 1.
I've never heard that.
Yeah.
Oh,
We might
Mindy
wanna
say
just
no,
check it.
she never heard that. Okay, so we do, part of ours is medical. Wow, okay, so when I called nutrition support, they told me they can. Now the verbiage, maybe I should use different verbiage. Anybody can choose to do the 5 and 1.
Yeah, that's the verbiage that they
That's the
can't do.
verbiage.
They might recommend it based on that person's particular
Right.
goal. The bottom line is having that resource when you're not sure,
Thank you.
to be able to get on the phone, that's
Right.
the key.
Yeah, and you know what else too, as health coaches, we just need to know that. I mean, we just need to give them that option as a patient, as a client. Chantal.
I just want to quickly point out, I heard the same thing from nutrition
Uh-huh.
support, but at the same time, where it came up was I had somebody doing the 5 and 1, and when they reached 15 pounds, it stopped working at that level, and nutrition support said, oh, we'll try 4 and 2,
Great.
and completely changed the game so she could lose those.
Or
Great.
6 and 1.
What a
So
great-
what I teach is that to increase the number of meal replacements you have, 6 you hit a
close,
plateau.
yeah.
I do
That's
7
great.
and 1 the first week.
So isn't this kind of cool? So we all, I mean, these are things that we don't really know, right? I mean, these are things, as a health coach, I didn't know that, and so, like, Denise is getting a different, so it's nice. So we have, the point is, like Greg said, we have this great resource, so, thanks. Okay, so the pre-client folder, what I loved when they came out with the pre-client folder is how many of you run into, like Karen said, you see somebody and you're like, oh my gosh, it's Robert Crossfield, and look, he needs, he wants to do this, and then you forget. That's what this is designed for, because this business success comes from follow-up. So if you don't have a follow-up system, your success level is going to be much lower. So this gives us the greatest tool for follow-up. It's called pre-client folder. I utilize that. We have a huge business, and I utilize the pre-client folder. Now, I'm going to be honest and say sometimes it has pink stickies in there. I saw somebody at Vaughn's, and the only thing I actually have a bubblegum wrapper in there. Because if I see somebody and I have nothing with me, I'll write on there, I ran into Robert Crossfield and he wants information, and I go home and I stick it in there, and then at night when I sit down to do my emails, it's in there. I have it in there, I have a file, I have it going. So please use that, you read through that, and you'll see exactly how to speak to pre-clients as well.
So then at some point a presentation has occurred, and we're not really going to go into, because you can do it in a group setting, individual setting, but once the patient or client says, I want to do this, what are the steps from there?
Okay, so this is the mastery of Take Shape for Life. If every coach is not using this, I would be really sad. I hope that every coach is using this and keeps it with them. I actually have mine with me right now. I do this anywhere I am. I can fill out a client profile form for you, or you can fill it out and give it to me. Either way, but this is the key to building a relationship is to have the knowledge of the person that you're coaching on a piece of paper in front of you. So what we do is we go through the client profile, whether I have, doctor on the phone or whether I have doctor in front of me, whatever, and we ask them to fill this out or I fill it out for them. We discuss somebody's BMI. This is the easiest thing in the world. Greg has a BMI chart. So you don't really have to, I would have been really offended if somebody had said to me, Denise, you really need to lose. Like my health coach, Gary, he didn't say you really need to lose 40 pounds. I looked at the BMI. This is our own awakening. This is just makes this program so easy. So you have a BMI in front of you. If you have clients that are on the phone that you've never met, we have clients in Alaska, Hawaii, all over the country, New York. I actually have this on the PDF from the company. It's in your office in motion. I actually send it to them and say, put that up in front of you. And I send it to them on an email, and then they have their own awakening. Oh, I'm red. And it's not the good red. It's not the, it's not like so we go through that BMI. Then you ask them what's going on, like why. Usually, sometimes if somebody calls you or you're talking to somebody, they have a big why, like right then and there. I got my cholesterol back. I'm going to my high school reunion. So I always, with all of our clients, and Greg talks to them, and if they're patients or if they're family friends or not, usually you'll find out people have two whys. Why right now? I want to get into that stinking dress because I'm going to that party in 2 weeks. Second why is I want to live longer, or I want to play with my grandkids, or whatever. Write it down. Whatever they tell you, write it down. So what do you have right now that's going on? So that people can see the short frame, right now, I need this, and they can see the long frame. What do you want in your future? Okay, so we discuss that. We go over, are you on medication? I always tell people, he's a specialist, even though he's a physician, contact your physician. Please contact your physician and let them know that you're starting program Take Shape for Life using the product Fast. So then I used to not do this, and now I've become the queen of it. Our company has made the variety packs amazing. They have a chocolate lovers. That's what I would have gotten if I got a variety pack when I started. So I use the variety packs, pick one. The Habits of Health system. If somebody refuses to buy the Habits of Health system, you can get the whole integrated package. But this is what I tell people, and I love the way Dr. Brosfield said the Cliff Notes. If you want to be my client, I really need you to read Discover Your Optimal Health. We can work on the Habits of Health for the rest of your life. That's the book for the rest of your life. You can keep that by your bed, and we can work on that program the rest of your life. But the Discover Your Optimal Health, it's going to really awaken you, and it takes 2.5 hours. You can do that, in your bath at night. So that's a no-brainer. That's just the greatest gift we can give our clients. And Greg and I, in our community, we actually give it out as gifts, and it's not just because his name's in the back. It's and because it really, I'll tell you, I feel so blessed to have this book because I cannot tell you how many people have read the book and called me and said, I want to do that program. This changed my life, this little book. So use it, use what we have. Okay, you can go ahead.
Just a little comment about the full integration pack.
Yeah, okay, so now that, I'm sure if you're reading your emails from the company. So they do actually take the Discover Your Optimal Health book out, but they're working on the system of removing in the full integration package your client's Habits of Health system. So if your clients are ordering the full integration, which we hope that they are, system, you want to remove that on their next order for them because it's not automatic right now. They're working on that. They're hoping within the next month it will be done. But we want to be careful that our clients don't need to. Yeah, we don't want them to get a second one. So just be cautious of that. Okay. So, and then go ahead.
And then just one.
Oh, everyone's in a panic. Is everyone okay?
Yeah.
I hear panic in the room. I feel panic.
Typically, people get a feel for what they do and don't like from the variety.
That you're absolutely right.
Second month, if they're very particular, they know what they want.
That's absolutely right. Did you hear what this health coach just said? I love what she said. She said, what happens when you send the client the variety pack, you get them started, then they get the feel for what they like, and by the second month, they know exactly what they do and don't like. That's perfect.
And they can make a custom order the second month.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I just wanted to spend a moment talking about realistic expectations. We have this phrase that we use, and sometimes I think we think of it more as a legalese thing, TC and all that stuff, but really it's kind of there to help set realistic expectations, because as health coaches, I think it's important that it's better to under-promise and over-deliver than over-promise and under-deliver. And so if you're talking to a small little woman and you're telling her she's going to lose 5 pounds a week, that may be a little bit of an issue. So think muscle mass. Who typically loses weight faster, men or women? It's because of muscle mass.